Set 3 will be played on Newkirk. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the red Protoss from WOONGJIN Stars. Can he regain his confidence? His name is sOs.
His opponent spawns in the bottom left-hand position as Blue Zerg playing for EGTL. His name is Zenio.
Do you know where the name Zenio is from? It's like an anime or something.
I'm not sure. I'm not an anime expert.
Neither am I.
Yeah. Sad face.
CJ face.
CJ face?
Yeah, remember the old CJ face? Like just like the kind of like just the stare, the emotionless look.
Isn't that more STX?
It is STX, but you know, like I mean, on the forums and stuff back in the day.
I don't remember that. Now, of course, sOs is named the. I don't know. I just had the brain fart for a second, but he's representing Korea in a few weeks for the Asian Games. Indoor Asian Games, and if you actually go back to where he was born, his hometown, they actually have a banner that says National Professional Athlete SOS.
Cool, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I thought the banner for a second was like the world runner-up or something. I'd be like, oh no, that's terrible. That's such bad taste.
Sorry, it took me a little while to translate because I was about to say pro gamer, but that's not what they put up. They put up like representative of Korea. That's the exact word.
That's pretty cool, man. It shows how legit esports is and how far it's come over the past few years or so. All right, well, sOs, he's going for a Forge first. Is he gonna? I don't know. He could try to go for a pylon block here.
Yeah. He could try to go for a pylon block, but that if he does do so, that it also means that he needs to go for the cannon first. But he's not gonna go for the pylon block. So after Forge, he's gonna get Nexus up. But we did see some kind of see this build from sOs in WCS. Remember against. Soki, if I remember correctly. Even if the Zerg player went for the pull first and then the hatchery, he still went ahead and went for the cannon rush. So it's still possible, but with the two Zerglings out, I don't see.
No, he can't. It's already too
happening.
Late.
Yeah.
But it looked like he was thinking. He's like, maybe I can get away with a cannon rush here. sOs going to block the third though, with his probe loose for a little bit. He may put the pylon down there with the block. Just by, annoying Zenio and delaying that third expansion by, maybe 30 seconds or so. More foreigners in the crowd, yeah! Well, it looks like there's no pylon that's going to go down here. Third base is going to pop up, and we have the Nexus about to complete for sOs, and Zenio's hatchery at the natural is going to be just about done as well here.
So now we just have a standard transition after little funky moves from sOs as he seemed to... He wanted to go for the cannon rush, except the drone was in position, and Zenio, he watched those WCS games. He was on top of his game today. Yeah. 1 HP left on the probe. Can he make it back into the main base? Yes, he can.
I think actually sOs, he went for the Forge expansion, thinking that maybe Zenio is going to go for the hatchery first, and if so, you pretty much get a free win with that cannon rush, if you're ready for it, if you open that style.
Did sOs get the pylon first and then go for the scout immediately, or did he go for a scout after Forge?
I believe after the Forge.
So I guess he was expecting 15 hatch, but he wanted to go for the cannon rush no matter what, because if you go for the scouting with the probe after the pylon, then you can see what's inside your opponent's base and then go for the Nexus first after that. You don't have to go for the Forge first.
Yeah. All right, we got a Stargate on the way for our WOONGJIN player. Of course, Stargate, a very standard opening against Zerg nowadays. Popularized by Pro League as well.
Ketspa players, they're always thinking back to the Brood War days on how Corsairs ripped apart on the Overlords, and they wanted to use the Phoenixes in the same method, except now they could lift up a few drones, kill some here and there, and it's a great scouting method. Scouting method,
it's great for map control as well, preventing the Zerg player from sending in Overlords from every which direction. And Zenio sending in 2 Overlords at once, going to look for some important tech here. He does spot the Stargate, and he's not going to see anything in the main base because there's nothing here.
Here's the thing, this is a sOs Stargate, which means that he can make the Phoenixes, yes, just like the other Protoss players out there, But after the first Phoenix, he could start making a lot of Void Rays, transitioning into Sky Toss.
Yeah, he could even end up with more than 5 Phoenix. We did see, I remember Protoss play recently who went up like I think the 8 Phoenixes.
Yes, Stats actually did that on Fighting Spirit,
and it ended up being really good for him. Worked out.
So the first Phoenix is out, and like I said, he goes for Void Rays right after.
Ooh, so the Void Ray is showing up now. We're going to getting a Robo as well behind this, going for +1 attack. SOS going in every direction with his tech here.
Now he also needs to be careful, because if he decides to go for every direction, there's going to be a huge timing gap where Zenio can go for a huge push with tons of Roaches, tons of Hydras, and rip apart on the expensive units like Void Rays and possibly Colossus.
That's a good point to bring up there. So we're going to have to see what SOS's overall game plan is. Looks like he's going to take the 3rd there, and Zenio simply doesn't have enough units to punish this. And even if he made like 14 Lings right now, it's still, I think, a little bit too late for him to actually deal with this expansion. You're going to see a cannon built in between those pylons and then probably walled off with gateways. Popular little Sim City that Protoss players do nowadays, and I like this. Lots of spores being constructed on Zenio's end. SOS has tricked his opponent into thinking that he's building multiple Phoenix, but in this situation, just a single Void Ray, actually, and now going into the Colossus. So, mind games, man. Lots of mind games from SOS today.
What do you think about the single Void Ray?
I really like it because first he tricked his opponent thinking that he was going to go Mass Phoenix, and then he showed the Void Ray, so Zenio's going to think, oh, okay, my opponent's going to be going for Sky Toss, but no, he's actually just going to go for Colossus.
And with the Void Ray and the Phoenix, he double confirmed that there's no Overlord around the main base to scout the Robo Bay that's at the natural.
Yeah, it looks like Zenio planned on taking an early 4th, potentially with that drone there, but it got lifted up, and that's going to cancel any action it has planned, and it's not noticed by Zenio as well.
Now the Immortals are coming out, +1 is almost done. 3 more gateways being added on. I don't see Twilight Council.
Yep, once again
from SOS, and denies the 4th hatchery once again. Nice play by SOS.
The drone's like, let me out of here.
It also lifts up the rocks.
Yeah. Oh. Well, this time the hatchery will end up finally getting constructed. We have Hydras on the way, as well as a lot of upgrades from the Zerg players, getting this +1 armor, carapace, getting the Hydra range, Roach speed, Ling speed just about to finish. 2 additional Stargates on the way, so it does look like we're going to see that Sky Toss style, but going in from Colossus now. Oh, wow.
You know, this is perfect, because now he's forcing a lot of Hydras out from his opponent, and he's going to have enough Colossus, enough Gateway Army to defend against the Hydras early in the game to buy enough time to transition into a lot more Void Rays behind it.
Still, I feel like it's a bit of a risky maneuver from SOS because he's skipping out on so many units in the early to mid-game, but it's going to work out for him this game because Zenio decided to not try to do an earlier attack, and
he needs to kill the Overlord to make sure there's no scouting at the natural.
I don't think that's going to happen. Looks like, the Void Ray, yeah, I should be able to pick that off.
Okay, there we go.
I like the decision for Zenio to go for that Overlord speed, but still it's not going to work out. Hydra's moving across the map now. If we look, we have like basically 1 of each unit except for 3 sentries. SOS up to 72 workers though. He got his economy online extremely fast.
Well, SOS is actually supply block right now. He needs to wait for the pylons to finish up, and that's a couple of Hydras streaming through. He sees more Hydras in the middle of the map, so he needs to warp in on Walls and sentries.
Yeah. All right, well, the Colossus range about to finish. We have, I believe, a total of 2 Colossus out now, with the second one just about to finish here. We also have the Nexus Cannon as well. The position is good for defending from SOS. He doesn't want to lose any of his units, though. He needs to keep that Immortal, the Militia Core alive. And it looks like Zenio is pushed back for now. Just the arc from our Zerg player wasn't enough to deal with this armor composition. And just pure Hydras without speed, I mean, that's not going to be able to deal with this.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit surprised that SOS's Twilight Council is just going up, because this guy, he loves to go for tons of charge loss and Archons with Colossus and Void Rays. This is a competition that he loves to do in PvZ. No Stalkers whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I think he realized that Stalkers are generally not that cost efficient.
Well, even if you lose the Zealous, some players, they just donate the Zealous too much, so SOS does a nice job keeping those Zealous alive until the last second, and only warps in those Zealous when he needs to.
Alright, the Hype's trying to do a little bit of damage here. They picked off the Gateway, only trading a few Lings for it. So, can't really complain either way there. We do have additional Void Rays being warped in here. Also, the +1 air attack and shields is on the way for SOS. We have Swarm Hosts, though, as a follow-up from Zenio. He's got a lot of different units in his mix here now. Roaches, Lings, Hydras going for the Hive behind this. The Spire about to complete. as well as the +1 ranged attacks. So just both players getting upgrades all across the border. But the biggest issue that SOS is going to have to deal with is that the Zerg player is on 5 bases. He's going to have a lot of gas. The creep spread could be a little bit better, but it looks like Zenio is starting to take care of that now.
Yeah, but Zenio also needs to be careful because now the Void Ray count is going really high with the Colossus constantly being added in. So if he has a chance to, he needs to start slowly eating away while forming a Spore Crawler wall and some Spine Crawlers over there while burrowing those Swarmos to make sure the Protoss player cannot actually attack into this position. Oh, he also needs to make sure the Hive finishes, and as soon as the Hive finishes, he needs to get the Vipers out.
Yeah, we do have 6 additional gateways being constructed. Warp Prism as well as Warp Prism speed is being researched. More spores, more roaches, or excuse me, swarm hosts are on the way here. And the +2 attack now starting for SOS. His charge is also halfway done here, and the army composition, he's almost maxed out. He's at 181 compared to the 197 of our Zerg player, sending in a lot of Zealots to this expansion up here. I don't think there's any way that Zenio is going to be able to save that, and behind this, SOS taking a 4th expansion.
Yeah, I mean, SOS can afford to do this. Yes, he's going to lose a lot of Zealots over here, but he killed a hatchery, and he has up to 4 bases right now. All he has to do is make sure that he sees a Hive, gets the Templar Archives like he's doing right now, and get enough Templars out. This Foremost is out of position. But luckily, SOS sends him back home.
That is one lucky swarm host.
Tell your friends back at home, I'm over here, do not push out.
All right, well, we have the Warp Prism speed upgrade finished. I also want to point out that we have more gateways in construction. Templar Archives about to complete for our Protoss player. And we have 3 Vipers in the unit mix here for Zenio. Now, he doesn't really have a lot of defense here. That's a pretty large Zealot Warp in the main base. Those are charge lots. They have the +1 attack, I think +2 about to complete. And I'd love to see them try the turn away on that Spire. Zenio not even responding to this, but that's because there's a big battle at the same time.
Nice pull.
2 great pulls here.
And it forces recall, but SOS does lose to Colossus. So it seems like the Warm Swarmos got the nice use inside the main base of Zenio.
Still, I'd have to say overall a decently even trade on both ends here. The Warp Prism is going to get picked off. SOS not realizing it, but will escape in time. Up. 1 health.
Wow. Okay.
That is a red Warp Prism.
Oh man,
reminds me of the red shuttle.
Yeah, that's really annoying as a Zerg player. You almost got it because the Protoss player wasn't paying attention, but hey, the Protoss player just got lucky.
Well, now we have Storm mixed into the unit composition for SOS. He's still got a very high Void Ray count, but Zenio is just sporing up like crazy here. And the Zealots moving over, they're going to be able to pick off this expansion another time.
This really hurts because remember the Soulkey versus Zhongli game on this map. Soulkey was doing a nice job defending every single time, but he allowed those Zealot run-bys to happen, and that's the reason why he lost the game.
Nice feedbacks to go down. Also, 1 Void Ray gets picked off, though. And the High Templar are forced back. Another very, very big warp in. And the main base, though, of Zenio here, he's going to have to deal with these Zealots here. His units are all out of position. The Zealots going to town. It looks like they want to go straight for the Hive. Lots of Spine Crawlers in production now. We already have a layer in construction, I think, at the natural now. Zenio going to finish his +2 attack. His +2 Carapace is on the way here. But is he going to be able to save
the Hive? It's so close right now. The Zealots are eating away. He needs to make sure he saves it.
6 health. 1 more hit, and it would have fallen.
He can still go for it because the Zealots can focus fire on the Hive right now. He needs to make sure he takes out the Zealot.
Go for it! Yes! He gets the Hive!
Which means that there's not going to be any +3 upgrades for Zenio anytime soon. He needs to rebuild the Spire.
SOS is all over the place with these Zealots, constantly doing attacks back and forth, back and forth. And you know what? That's the way I love to see Protoss played late game. Constant warp-ins, forcing the Zerg player out of position. Think about the swarm hosts like mini Broodlords. They have to be in a position. They are not very mobile. So the way to deal with that kind of style is just make Zealots and send them everywhere. Another charge lot run by. Will it be able to snipe down this hatchery? It's getting low on health. Is the DPS there? No,
and
it looks.
No queen to transfuse.
No, it's going to end up falling.
False.
Wow, so SOS is all over the place, man, with these drops. He's doing an amazing job. And he has, how many gateways does he have? He has up to 10 gateways.
Another hatchery, goodbye, as Zenio doesn't not even have time to come back to defend against this.
This reminds me of Rain versus Hydra, where Rain just starts doing lots of massive drops and just kind of picks apart his opponent.
You know, he's been doing a nice job setting up a lot of score qualities, which means that the Void Rays and the Colossus cannot easily attack into Zenio's main base. But sOs, he studied Zhangbi's game. He knew that tons of charge loss and run bys is going to win him the game in this situation. And he's doing a fantastic job doing it. Look at the cells going inside the main base once again.
Trying the focus fire down, gets one of the infestors. Also note that sOs has managed to take 2 additional expansions behind all of this harassment here. I love that he's not maxing out, and he's allowing the warp ends to kind of max him out temporarily while he still has his main army composition at home.
With Flash, I saw 6 DTs warping.
Oh,
and
well,
that ate away on the hatchery over there.
Zenio is, I mean, I don't know. This has got to be so tilting the fight against here. The DTs, the Zots, everywhere. He's constantly attacking base after base. Zenio has been on the defensive pretty much the entire game here, trying to do a little bit of damage with some of these swarm hosts here, but nothing significant.
Yeah, those swarm hosts are pretty much eating up his supplies at this point. As yes, it's doing a nice damage around here, going for the Nexus, killing some High Templars here and there. But it's not doing anything efficient in this game.
All right, we have 2 War Prisms on the map.
First one is going to get taken down, but the second one is at third base, also gets taken out by the Spore Crawler.
5 additional gateways in production for sOs. He's getting another Warp Prism. His +3 shields is about to complete here, and he's also going for the +1 armor. The Swarm Host trying to bite away on this expansion here, and the Probe's already running away. Looks like they're afraid. They will get picked off, though. I think sOs is eventually going to have to deal with these Swarm Hosts, though.
Well, he has to, because that's the Zerg player's main army at this point, you know, forcing the Protoss to stay back at the main base. That's what the Swarm Host allows you to do, and now sOs, he's not going to go for the Zerg run-bys. Instead, he's going to get lots of Archons, use the Void Rays and Colossus to crush the army from Zenio.
Oh, what a scary-looking army here, and we have some Corruptors in the mix with Infestors, Swarm Hosts. Nice fumble going down, hitting a lot of those very precious units, but the Archon count looking really good here. We also have Storm, pretty much everything strong from the Protoss players in this army, and wow, that is just really scary.
You know, usually at this point you have tons of spores, and you also have spines behind us with tons of Swarm Hosts, but right now, since there was only Spore Crawlers, the Archons are eating away on every single building with the Swarm Hosts over there. All sOs needs to do right now is micro his Observer and make sure it does not get picked off.
Looks like sOs is going to back off temporarily here.
But he did kill the hatchery.
Yeah, killed the hatchery, picked off a few of Zenio's units here, but Zenio still has a lot of gas in the bank, so he'll be able to go down any tech path he so chooses. The Archons are going to be annoying here, and we have another Zealot charged a lot, run by here at the third base, going to pick off a lot of these defensive structures and go for the hatchery. Can he get it, though? The Warp Prism falls, and it looks like Zenio's reaction, he will be able to eventually save this base.
Yeah, but now sOs is moving towards the left top position, and those DTs are attacking at the same time. The left bottom, 11 o'clock position is an unsafe position for Zenio, as a hatchery is going to get taken out easily.
The Archon count here.
DTs are also eating away on the other hatchery on the bottom side of the map.
Basically, sOs, he traded all of his Void Rays for Archons. He just has a few in there to kind of remind Zenio that, hey, I can make air units. Don't get too cocky about your unit composition. sOs backing up now. He's down the 166 supply, but his economy is in great shape. He keeps harassing Zenio, and, I mean, how long until the constant harassment breaks you?
Well, shortly he's going to have to tap out because he doesn't have any economy flowing in, and quoting Nara, the light bulb rush with all these Archons is going to end the game as long as he has the Observer in sight for the Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, the Archon's moving forward here. Yeah, actually, Zenio, can he defend against this? Well, there's a lot of additional charge lots warping in here. Storms go down, not doing too much. The big issue is the lack of an Observer, and the Swarm Hosts still survive.
He needed to go for the Spore Crawlers first because the Observer is getting picked off every single time. Even if the Observer is not in the range of the Spore Crawler, the Corrupt is taken down. But this Warp-In inside the main base is really nice.
Yeah, this Warp-In's going to kill off a lot of structures here, prevent Zenio from getting too much extra upgrades, and he is pretty much dry on minerals right now. Zenio, he's balling out of control on gas, but he's got no minerals left. He is run dry as far as those resources go.
So throughout the whole game, other than sOs overextending about a minute ago, I have to say he has a nice advantage, and GG.
Zenio realizes that there's just no economy left, and, you know, he can only deal with the constant harassment for so long from the Protoss player.
The power of WCS runner-up.
Yeah. And with that, sOs breaks his losing streak, regains some confidence. Unfortunately for Zenio, he felt kind of outclassed there a little bit. And, you know, he was doing a pretty good job. I think that he could have beaten a lot of other Protoss players, but we're talking about sOs here, one of the top Protoss players in the world. Him and Rain probably, you know, vying for that top spot.
So now the score is 2-1. WOONGJIN Stars taking a lead against EGTO as we head towards set number 4.
Indeed. In set number 4, we're going to have a ZVZ. It's going to be Zero versus Revival on Whirlwind.
It's really crucial for EGTO if they want to win today. If they win this one, they drag it to at least set number 6.
Yeah, but if not, then we could potentially see Sulky shutting out here on the 5th set. So it's going to come down Zero Revival. Who will win? We will find out after this commercial break.